Hi and welcome back to the Cordless Vacuum Guide, and in this review, we'll be looking at the budget robot vacuum from a newcomer in this industry, the Airrobo P20. Normally, I don't accept review requests from budget options because frankly, most don't perform well enough to consider. But Airrobo insisted that their product was good, so I accepted. It's one of the least expensive options with a gyroscope-based navigation, meaning it will move around in straight lines, unlike most budget options that pinball around. And based on tests, it's one of the most efficient options, at least in a small room that I've tested. But how good is this robot? Is it a good option, considering it's a new brand with an unproven track record? I've spent the past few days testing this robot in different aspects like navigation, cleaning performance, and more to find out. So let's get into it. Let's start by looking at the features. The P20 is an updated version of the P10 with slightly more power, a larger dustbin, and compatibility with the Airrobo app. Airrobo says that it has 2,800 pascals, or 200 more than a P10. Still, as I've said in previous reviews, pascals isn't an accurate metric for power because some high pascal robots I've tested have actually lower airflow, which is the case for the P20. I used an anemometer to test, and it maxed out at 13.39 CFM, which is subpar compared to other high airflow options. Since this is a budget level robot, don't expect too much from it. Almost everything about this robot is basic. It uses a round frame found in most robot vacuums, since the curved shape helps it navigate around tight quarters more efficiently, unlike a D-shaped robot. Underneath, the P20 utilizes a twin-side brush system flanking a combo brush, which is highly efficient at cleaning edges. It has a rear-mounted dustbin with a generous 600 ml capacity, a big deal for robots without a self-emptying base station. Out of the box, consumers will get an extra pair of side brushes, a filter, a brush cleaning tool, a remote control for those who don't want to use the app. It uses a standard charging dock with a slot for the remote control. Again, this is a budget robot vacuum, so it doesn't have the self-emptying feature. As I've said in the intro, the P20 is one of the least expensive that uses a gyroscope, something that other budget options, like the Roborock E4 and Roomba i3 use. The difference is that the P20 is cheaper than these options. So instead of navigating in a random direction, it moves in straight back and forth lines, much like a smart robot vacuum. It has 5 different navigational modes: auto, edge, spot, spiral, and manual. The auto mode is a default cycle where the robot cleans every nook and cranny. There are 2 sub-options for the auto mode: meticulous and quick clean. Honestly, I don't see much difference between these options, at least from testing inside a small room. And surprisingly, the quick cleaning mode took 2 minutes longer than the meticulous clean, so it isn't exactly quick. For the best results, I'd stick with the meticulous clean and not worry about touching the other settings. Edge mode, as its name implies, focuses on the edges. Spot and spiral modes are similar in that the robot cleans a fixed area. Spiral mode tells the robot to go around in a spiral pattern, hence the name, while the robot goes in a straight back and forth motion in spot mode. Please note that you'll need to move the robot to the area you want clean for the spiral and spot modes. Manual mode allows consumers to control the robot using these controls, much like an RC, but I don't use this function at all in any robot vacuum. Despite the low airflow, the Airrobo P20 was surprisingly good at cleaning surface debris, regardless of surface. It picked up in the high 90s in most experiments, even sand on hard floors. The P20's combo brush and seal are proven to be enough for debris pickup, at least for surface dirt. However, the lack of airflow comes into play with deep cleaning, as it only picked up an average of 62.5% in 2 tests. You could see in these clips the above average pickup of the P20, making clean passes on various debris, even on hard to clean coffee grounds that nearly all budget robot vacuums struggle with. Another pro for the P20 is its efficient navigation. I tested it in my small room with scattered debris, and it picked up most of it, completing the 2-pass run in a little over 13 minutes. However, the run wasn't perfect as it left debris on these areas, and even after running it a second time, it still left a good chunk. But it's an excellent result for a budget robot vacuum. The next thing I like is the low-profile design, enabling it to go under low-clearance furniture. This is an issue with lighter robot vacuums, since there's a big protrusion on top for the lighter cover, restricting it from going into clearances below 3.5 inches. With the P20, there is no such issue since the top is flat. The rear dustbin placement allowed Airrobo to use a larger capacity 600 ml dustbin, which is a big deal for robot vacuums without a self-emptying base station, since you can run it longer before having to empty the dustbin. The scissor-type hinges make it easy to empty and clean since you'll have full access to the dustbin. Also, the mesh filter covering your primary filter helps lengthen the maintenance intervals since it'll block larger debris particles, so there's no need to clean the primary filter as often. The P20 is compatible with the Airrobo app, one of the cheapest options with such, and the app is surprisingly responsive. Connecting the robot and app takes less than 10 minutes, but you'll need to turn on specific permissions and Bluetooth to complete the connection. It offers some helpful features like scheduling, access to different cleaning modes, the maintenance tabs to alert you when to replace specific components, and even access to the user manual. You could use the remote, but the app is easier to use and helps unlock all the features. Lastly, in this section is the 120-minute runtime from the 2800 mAh lithium-ion battery, which is more than enough inside small homes and combined with the efficient navigation, helps it vacuum a larger area. One weakness of a combo brush is its inability to resist hair tangles, especially long hair strands, and the P20 is not an exception. It only picked up 77 and 55% on 5 and 7-inch strands respectively. Not a bad score, but it's not something I'd recommend for cleaning pet hair or long hair. Nonetheless, this robot is slightly better than the Rovera Q5 Max in both experiments, since it's a few $100s cheaper. Another downside is the noise levels in the powerful setting, at close to 70 decibels. It isn't as loud as other high airflow robots, but it's loud enough to be bothersome. The next quirk is a shorter runtime at the highest power setting, which is significantly less than the published 120-minute runtime at the lowest setting. This can be an issue for cleaning carpets since you'll need to use the highest setting to pick up debris on this surface. Lastly is the longevity concern for any unproven brand. Airrobo certainly fits the bill here since it's a new brand coming into this crowded space. Only time will tell how their products will hold up long term. But the initial findings look promising. The P20 has an efficient navigation and above average pickup, two qualities you'd want from a robot vacuum at any price bracket. However, the airflow limitations hamper its deep cleaning performance. But that's the way it is with most budget robot vacuums. Considering its low price, I think this product offers excellent value for money if you don't mind the drawbacks, which is common for nearly every cheap option. If you've made it this far, I'd like to say thank you and consider giving this video a thumbs up if it's been helpful to you. It goes a long way in growing this channel and reaching more consumers. Subscribe and hit the bell icon to get notified when I publish new reviews like this and I have a bunch lined up. Links are in the description below for more information about the Airrobo P20, including the detailed review on my blog. Thanks again for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.